Hello and welcome. Today I'm doing a video on the Democrats' best case scenario and the governor elections in 2020. But before we get started, please go subscribe. Our new end of the month goal is 225. We're currently at 220. We're 5 away, so go and subscribe. And let's get started. There's currently 19 Republicans not up for re-election and 20 Democrats not up for re-election. There's 11 seats up for re-election though. We're going to get started with the safe Republican states, Utah and North Dakota. There's really no chance of these two states narrowing down unless something really bad happens to the Republican governors there, or there's a very good Democrat that runs. Now for the Democrats, Washington and Delaware, both pretty strong Democrats. Jay Inslee, which ran for president, didn't make it through and dropped out. He has a little higher disapproval, but in the Democrats' best case, it would be in the safe column. So we're going to go on to New Hampshire first. So in New Hampshire, Chris Sununu has a 59% approval rating to a 30% disapproval. Now, he was up for re-election in the midterms, and he won, I think, by 14 points, which was in the likely column. So if it's the Democrats' best case, he'll probably win it by 11, 10 points. He's a very popular governor, and he will definitely win re-election. Moving on to Vermont, Phil Scott, even more popular in a Democratic state with 65% approval to a 22% disapproval rating. Best case scenario for the Democrats, there's probably going to be more that come out to vote, so it might shift it slightly more to the Democratic column, but he's still win probably 13 or 14 points. He's very popular. I just see those very, very progressive left, or the far, far left, not voting for him. He does have a decent approval among liberals and moderate liberals as well. So I definitely see him winning re-election as well, putting it at 23 Republicans to 22 Democrats. Moving on, we're going to go into West Virginia with Jim Justice. He has a 43% approval to a 44% disapproval. Now, because Jim Justice has a high disapproval rating, I could see this narrowing down to a lean margin, but remember, this is a presidential election, and it will get more Republicans out to vote, so it'll help him cross the line. But in the Democrats' best case scenario, it could narrow down to 3 to 4 points. Moving on, we're going to go into North Carolina with, where is he? Roy Cooper, who has a 47% approval to a 32% disapproval, 21% no opinion. This is a more toss-up to lean conservative state, so I do see this one going in the likely column. He won it narrowly in 2016, and because he has proved to have a decent approval rating, he will win it in the likely margin in the best case, probably by 6 to 7 points. He has polled pretty high as well. He hasn't been down in any polls, so I could see it winning in the likely margin, putting it at 23 Democrats. Now, moving on, we're going to go into Indiana. Eric Holcomb has a 51% approval to a 23% disapproval. This one, I think this one could also go into the likely margin for the Republicans. He did decent in the last election, but I think he will probably get it by 7 to 8 points in the Democrats' best case. There'd have to be a strong Democrat to run against him to narrow this even further down to maybe a lean margin or even flip, but I don't really see it flipping and staying in the likely column. Moving on to Missouri with Mike Parson, who has a 49% approval to a 24% disapproval. There was a strong Democrat that ran last time. It was a close race, but I think this one will go into the likely margin. Mike Parson has a pretty good approval rating. It's a presidential year. He will most likely win re-election with a 10-point margin. In Montana with Steve Bullock, he is not up for re-election. He's actually running for the Senate. Where is he? Where is Montana? I don't see it here. Probably because he's not up for re-election. Where is Montana? Should be here. Maine, Minnesota. Montana, Steve Bullock. Here he is. 52% approval to a 31% disapproval rating. Now, because there's a Senate race that's going to go on there, it could make this race closer because Steve Bullock is most likely going to be the Democratic nominee for the Senate. It'll push more conservative, moderate Democrats to vote for whoever the Democratic nominee is for the governor race. And if there is a more moderate Democrat, I could see him winning it maybe in the lean likely margin. So now that'd be 26 Republicans to 24 Democrats. No real change, but it changed the margins. Thank you for watching. Please go subscribe, like the video, as well as hit the notification bell. Bye.